Hey guys, Sam here with you, January 8th. We're mid-morning. Got some members interested in an update on Ethereum. Several of the majors we're going to do this morning, but this is Ethereum to Bitcoin on Polo. Now, I've shown this before, and it should be no surprise that Ethereum is trading very technically, and you can see the count that I have on it now. So we are, of the larger degree here, I have us as a 1-2, and then yet again a 1-2 to complete our third here. Here's the fourth. Here was the quick sell-off. Then we had this abrupt drop here, which is how we're defining the count. I'm going to just walk you quickly through that so you understand how I've come up with this. Then you can see I've got the Schiff pitchfork on here. Note that we go up 50% in price, and that seems to be containing it quite nicely here. So we return to the median line. We're going lower parallel, upper parallel. Now here we've gone all the way up to the 200% of the median line, but this seems to have the market geometry well contained here. So if we look here, a few things of note. So we get our 1-2, up we go for the 3, then we come down here. So again, this is clearly good evidence to support that that's our fourth as we come and we tap, but we don't overlap the wave 1 high. Gives me confidence that that's my 4, up we go for the 5, and then we get the big drop. So that implies that we've completed now a 5-wave structure. It's impulsive, there's no overlap. So that gives us a 5-wave structure to complete the third here, right, relative to the 1-2 here in white. Then down we go hard here for the fourth. Now, so this is abrupt, and we do see there's 3 waves in it. But when we come out of that, the reason I'm qualifying this as a 1 wave, because it would be easy to look at that and say A, B, C, okay, that's likely just the A wave. That would be what I would have anticipated given how abruptly that corrected and how steep it went. We do come here, we go right to the Vegas wave. Here's our lower parallel. And so the thinking at that time was that was the A. We'd go up for a 3-wave B, but that's not what we get. We get a 5-wave structure, and in fact, it's impulsive. You can see here the 4 does not overlap the 1. So that would suggest that despite how abrupt this correction was, the fact that we move away from this pivot low here in a 5-wave structure implies that we're off now to complete the 5th, and that's our 1 wave. And so we just roll with what we see. So that no, that's not going to be a B wave. But here we then, again, we get another abrupt correction, and it's rather quick. But you can see much better subdivision here. So if I open this up a bit, so you can see here, here's our A, B, C. It's abrupt, but up we go in a 5-wave structure. Then we, again, A, B, C. Down we go into the 2. Now, it's deep. It's definitely beyond the 786, but look how the lower parallel catches it. We don't overlap the wave 4 low, so we have a valid count, and then we move away from that impulsively. So again, the idea here is to be qualifying these pivots. Are they technical? Does the pattern fit with what we're seeing? If this is my 4, I'm anticipating to come off of this in a 5-wave sequence. So despite the depth here, it's still technical as the lower parallel catches it. So if I squeeze out a little bit again, then we see, okay, well if this is my 1-2, what am I anticipating? Well, I'm anticipating a third, and for the third to be impulsive. Relative to this, has to be impulsive. Now look where we've gone right here. So that is the length of my 1 projected from this deep 2 low, and we go up. Here's the highest probability zone for a third. The 1618, 175 box. We get a few ticks shy of the 1618, which gives me confidence that despite it being a few ticks shy, likely front running here. So that's a good indication that I've got a third. Now I'm looking for. Now keep in mind, since I'm in my 5th, I could end with a diagonal. We could have an ending diagonal here to complete a 5th. Ending diagonal, once again, only found in the C wave or the 5th wave. So if I wick off my wave 1 high here, the fact that this, which I'm suggesting is likely our A wave, again, yet again, we can't. You can't lock into it. You got to just react to what the market is offering to you. So just as we thought this was the A wave, this likely the A wave, I'd like to see better subdivision to complete that correction of that rather steep and significant third wave relative to range. So, I mean, this is a pretty powerful move that we get here up into the 1618 for a fifth. So down we come here. Now, so of course, now that we have confidence that we've got our third high in, we want to start measuring. So we'll take the low of the 2 up to the 3 high and see what we get here. Well, we know the high probability zones from the 38 to the 50, and this is interesting here that we don't overlap the 1. So this reaction here, not surprising, and yet again, very technical. Now, do we get a complete ABC here to finish a fourth? Well, we'll have to see. Again, as I've mentioned many times, this is the pattern we see repeatedly in crypto, is shallow Cs. So that would actually play for an impulsive wave. Again, we don't have to stay impulsive. So the move for the 4 down to the median line in the 50, that wouldn't surprise me at all. So if I put the wave on this, maybe it makes a little more sense to you visually. So we're waiting to see, are we going to get, so we have a little subdivision here to imply that the A wave is done. Now, do we move away from that in a 3-wave structure? Right now, per the hourly, we've just gone straight up. Now, are we going to get a little subdivision into the B wave to give us a little more confidence? So it would look like this. So what we want to see is something like this. There we go. I'll change that color just so it makes a little more sense. Okay, so you can see that. So that's what we're looking for if it's going to play perfect Elliott ball. But remember, we were looking for that here, and while this could have been the B, you see how we have 1, 2, 3. We have a potential B. The fact that we come down here, we don't overlap the 1, and then we rip up says nope, it's not a B. It's got a 5 wave. So it must be that this 4 is in, and that up we go for the 1. Now, here's the traditional classic ABC Elliott wave correction. Here's the A right to the median line. Up we go for the B. It's an attempt to get to new highs. It fails and then drops hard. And you can see we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the C wave of a traditional ABC. So that has not been the norm in crypto. What we're seeing more typically are these truncated C waves. So that's not to say that we aren't getting 5-wave subdivision in the C, but they aren't getting below the A wave low. Now, this very well. If this sets up here, that's a must take. We get that kind of confluence between pattern, price, fib pull, median line, structure, all of it there. That's a must take. Now, and plus you've got great risk reward because we'd be looking for the 5th up here. Here's the algo target to complete our 5th. Perhaps we're going to stay in sync with this upper parallel. So we'd have a risk reward here that's very favorable. If we're buying at the 50, stop on the other side of the 65. With this as our target, that I could just visually, I can look at that, tell you that's going to be at least 3 to 1, if not closer to 4 to 1. So that's the wait and see now. So this is not the buy. I would suggest to you while you could make money there, the implication is, for a swing trader, is here's the one we're waiting for. Now, again, we'll wait and see what happens if we get a 3-wave and then we start down again. But here's the one that I'll wait for. Again, as I often suggest to you, you're not going to get every pivot, every swing, you wait for the trade that you like. So if you just did nothing but mastered one setup, you'll be wildly successful, assuming you master it. You wait for it, you look for it, you accept that you're not always going to get it, and you're not going to get every swing. But if you just wait for the trade that you're comfortable with, that I like the risk reward, all of the things that I look for are there. Again, you can be very, very successful just working off of one entry technique that you've mastered, that you know how to look for. You wait until you get what you like. Again, it's kind of wait for your pitch. That's the idea here. So for me, I'm rarely a buyer on an A wave, rarely. So I was not a buyer here. Now, as I wait here, I'm salivating for that. Should that come? That's a must take. At least for me, that's no hesitation. Zero hesitation. In fact, I'd front run it to be sure I got a fill, looking for that. So we'll see how it unfolds. Right now, it's just a hurry up and wait. Ideally, we get that 3-wave, correct back down for the 4th, and then off we go for the 5th. And then, keep in mind that if that completes there, what have we got? We've got a pretty substantial wave count that's completed there. off of this low down here. So that would complete, and then from there, now if we complete a 5 wave, then we're drawing from this low to, hypothetically, if this is our high, then we're looking for the next 50, which is a long way down. Right? So it makes you think, if we're going to complete there, so what would that look like? So if just hypothetically, if we complete up there at that algo target and we look up here, now our target is down here. Well, that's interesting. Look how that plays with the lower parallel. Now, it's that, the timetable and when we get there, but that would be if that's how this plays, right? So potentially, just a potential roadmap. That's all we're laying out here is a possible roadmap. If we go up and complete the 5 wave there, we've got it completed. We then wait for the next 50, and we have to just sit and wait for this. That's the rule set. At least that's what I would propose to you. That's my rule set. How about I phrase it that way? So if we complete a 5-wave sequence, I wait for the 50. Because I'm looking for the wave 2, anywhere from the 50 to the 786. Here's the first place I'd be looking. It'd be great if we got it there, but we'll see how much time it takes. This is, again, the advantage of working with median lines is because you get this time component. When do we get there? Maybe I have to put the 300 on to accommodate this. We'll see. We'll see how well it responds here when we get to the median line. So kind of a hurry up and wait there. Okay, guys, I'll wrap it there and be back to you shortly. It looks like we're going to do Bitcoin as well as Litecoin and maybe Monero as well. Okay, that's it for now.